Welcome to Midnight Movie Talk live from the City of Angels, Los Angeles, here on this Tuesday night. Erick Weber in the host chair, and we have another straight out of theater reaction tonight on the heels of The Flash, a much smaller film, but are you ready? Another film that I generally liked. It's The Boogeyman. And the story of this film is actually very compelling. Not the film itself, we're going to talk about in a minute, but its journey to the screen. This is a film that Disney/Fox had scheduled for Hulu. They're like, let's just throw this on Hulu, small little horror film, get some subscribers, and then they test screened it. And it turns out audiences liked the film. So they reversed course and they made it theatrical and they released it in the summer. It's coming out here next week. Let's get into my reaction of the film here right now, straight out of the theater. Rob Savage's progression as a horror director, remember him from Host, continues to impress with The Boogeyman. It's a tale of trauma and the monsters that feed upon it. Nicely grounded, suspenseful, decent little scare fest that should find a summertime audience with Disney smartly sending this to theaters. And I think that's the thing here. It's a PG-13 horror film, okay? So none of what you're going to watch is going to be, terrifying. You've seen this film in so many different iterations, okay? But what I like about the film is we have strong performances here. You have a nice, tight little runtime. It's, as I said here in the reaction, grounded for horror, right? And I think this is the first time I've seen Rob Savage work outside of a cam film, right? Go back and look at Host. He also did a small film, Dash Cam. This is traditional. Looks to me shot on film, has a real nice color palette to it, very muted. Because again, the film deals with grief. It's kind of the sanitized version of Hereditary. Right, this is a film that teens can go to and they'll be safe watching. It's safe horror. And listen, I know some of you are going to say that's not what I want to watch. But I tell you this, I think it's going to do fairly well because when you look at horror and what it's been able to do at the box office in summer, that's what Disney sees here. They see an opportunity to make some money. So here's the film. A couple of notes I have for the film, and in addition to my reaction out of the theater. I think the one thing that I would tell Rob Savage as a director, I want to see him scale back on score. And I know this is such an MMT thing to do, right? When we take one specific element of a film and say, if I were to go in here and to change things and swap things around, I would suggest to Rob that he dials back score. Less is more. That's the number one motto for almost every film that we watch. Outside of, a Flash or some giant tent pole, right? That's going to be more is more 99% of the time. But in this case, I would say that there's some scenes here that have excessive scoring. Strip it out. Make it silent because that's where the scares come in. That would be my note for this film. Is it a great film? No. Is it going to sate people who want a safe, again, sanitized horror film? Yes, it will. And when you look at these films that were originally supposed to go to streaming and then suddenly were swapped for theatrical, you start with Smile. Look at last summer. Remember when Smile came out? It was like this small little horror film that I really liked. Okay, this is not Smile. Smile's a much stronger film across the board. But look at this, 217 million worldwide for that decision by Paramount to put it in theaters, okay? That was brilliant. And same thing happened with that film that happened here with The Boogeyman. They put it in front of test screeners and they said, We like the film. Let's go ahead and put it theatrical. Another film that was moved from streaming to theatrical, Barbarian. A film that ended up with a lot less than Smile, but still 45 million worldwide. Not bad. That's what Disney sees here with The Boogeyman. An opportunity to make some cash as counter-programming up against Spider-Verse 2 next weekend. So, listen. I mean, overall, the positives here outweigh the negatives. But it's not a great film, but it's also nothing like sitting through The Mother or Ghosted or any number of horrible films that I've seen this year, such as Cocaine Bear. I mean, you know, the other thing this film has going for it is it's PG-13. Remember when Megan broke out and did over, what is it, 150 million worldwide? Why? Because when you open your horror film up to PG-13 audiences, you instantly make the movie-going pie that much larger, because all of a sudden you got kids whose parents might actually take them because it's PG-13. It's not R. Smile was R. Barbarian was R. This film is PG-13. So it bodes well for this as counter-programming next weekend. I also want to mention this throughout. Why did I not start with this? For Disney, I believe there is somewhat of an embargo in play, but it wasn't a review, right? We're talking about the film's chances of succeeding at the box office. But in order to do that, you got to see the film. So that's one of the important things whenever I go see these, is like, now I have an idea where this can fit and how it will do in the marketplace. Tonight's stream's going to be tight, guys. I'm not kidding you. It's going to be 15 minutes. Okay, so you have less than 10 minutes to get in here with anything you want to discuss regarding The Boogeyman. I kind of want to stay on that here tonight. Your thoughts, some horror films that you were, mildly impressed with. I go back and I look at a film from Focus in the middle of the pandemic that I know a lot of you probably don't even know exists. It's, God, what is it called? I literally just forgot the name of it. Come Play. Okay, so it's a Focus film, very much like this, a boogeyman. There's an autistic child, and the boogeyman attaches himself to the child. That film, for me, from a screenplay perspective, is stronger, but the boogeyman looks better as a film. This looks really good. I mean, again, Rob Savage, the progression I'm seeing from him as a horror director from a host, which was shot during lockdown, right? Everybody in front of their cam, very much like an Unfriended. By the way, talk about an underrated horror film. Unfriended is very good. That is a film I have watched no fewer than 5 times. I love putting that on and having it on as background noise. It's a great film. Really strong little horror film. But when you look at his progression, this is now an official horror film, right? Traditional setup. It's not a webcam kind of thing that we've seen him do with Dashcam and, of course, Host. So I like the progression I'm seeing from Rob Savage. Again, the note, though, for him is just to scale back on the score. Let's get to the comments here on this Tuesday night, the rare Tuesday night. We used to do Tuesdays all the time. Now we really are focusing on Thursday opening night for the big films, and then Sunday night, and then whenever we get an out-of-theater reaction, you guys know we're here. By the way, if you have not yet, you need to get the alert sent to you so you know when all of a sudden we just go live at 9:30, which would be on my time out here in LA, 12:30 on the East Coast, live out of theater. You never know. I mean, that is the magic of MMT. You don't know when we're going to be on other than Sunday night and Thursday. We're in those nights. The other nights, you just don't know. Just saw Erick's tweet. Apparently he liked it. Yeah, I did. I mean, overall, it is, again, positives outweigh the negatives here. Not a great film. Not as nearly as strong as Smile. But it's also a decent little horror film that's safe. Okay, we've seen this monster chases the small child so many times, right? The film that this reminded me of, but I think it's stronger than, even though I love Scott Cooper, as a director, I was so underwhelmed by Antlers. I mean, how many of you even saw Antlers? I love Scott Cooper. I'm like, Scott Cooper working in the horror genre, this is going to be a win. And it just wasn't. This film has a lot of Antler feels to it, but it's very accessible And I think that's actually a positive here. Again, I'm really viewing this as I evaluate it through the eyes of a 15-year-old girl, right? I'm not like saying this is Hereditary. This is some dangerous horror film that is going to leave you scarred for years. You will never forget it from the annals of your mind. No, that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about a very accessible, sanitized horror film here tonight. Oh God! And then YouTube's got to admit, if I swear to God, you got to get over the Ant-Man 3 stuff. I talked to someone here tonight that literally said, I watched Ant-Man 3 over the weekend. It wasn't bad. I'm like, exactly. That's the whole thing that I laugh about with everybody that's like, oh, Ant-Man 3 is not bad. Now, if you come in here and tell me that Cocaine Bear and Magic Mike's Last Dance and Beau's Afraid are good, then that's over. Ant-Man 3 is fine for what it is. Okay, guys? Totally fine. And I agree, real opinion. It's very uninspired, right? There was a film called The Boogeyman back in the 80s. A B film, right? Another one of those when Michael Myers, let's kind of get the Boogeyman out there. It's not a very inspiring time. But, again, positives outweigh negatives here tonight. I do have, listen, the Little Mermaid vibe, I really am going to save this for Thursday night when we do Little Mermaid. We're going to do that Thursday night, live reaction out of theater for Little Mermaid, in addition to box office and everything. We'll do a long stream that night. So yes, a lot of you are going to see it tomorrow because I know there's some sneak screenings of that, but that will be Thursday for us. But yes, it matches tonight's kit, which is Club Santos out of Liga MX. With the green. That's what I went with tonight. We'll go a couple questions here since I know a lot of you are not like super stoked for the Boogeyman. If you have something specific on that, hit me because we're only going to go 15 minutes. You got less than 5 minutes here. What are your predictions for Spider-Verse 2 next week? I thought this film was coming out like in 2 weeks. Let's talk about that Thursday. That'll be part of the big Thursday show. It's not a review, Mega YouTube. It's not a review, Max. Stop. It's not a review. Be a catchy YouTube. Listen, it's our thing. If anyone ever steals it, there's already a YouTuber who has movie talk as part of their thing now. I thought that was really well, that's kind of timely, isn't it? But whatever. This is the original Midnight Movie Talk, okay? I don't care if anyone else has something called Movie Talk. We do it better than them. I know that. I'm 100% certain of that. Come Play is one of the worst films I've ever seen. Mega YouTube, what is wrong with that? It's not even close to being a terrible film, okay? You guys need to learn something. This is like movie criticism evaluation 101. You cannot nuke a film that is not that bad, and I point directly to Ant-Man 3. You cannot come out of Ant-Man 3 and say that was an abomination, because what you're doing is you are now setting yourself up for nowhere to go when you actually get a film like Cocaine Bear or Magic Mike's Last Dance or Beau is Afraid or Scream 6 that are truly repulsive. You need to save yourself some space there. Come Play has a lot of good things going for it. Is it perfect? No, very much like tonight's film, but it still is a positives outweigh the negatives, and the back end, the finish of Come Play is really strong. I liked it. I mean, it's predictable, but yet I still like it. Anytime a horror film ends on a downer, I'm good with that. Like a bittersweet ending, I love. That's one of my problems here with the film tonight, without giving it away. Empty Man was terrible. Thomas, oh my God. That's a whole stream I should do. I drove to Orange County. Remember, The Empty Man came out when theaters were closed in LA. And the only way that you could see it, Fox said you have to drive all the way down to Orange County, which is about an hour south of me, to watch The Empty Man. I was in the theater with one other person that night on a Thursday. And what a train wreck. That film is the biggest ripoff of Hereditary that I've ever seen. And what an embarrassment by the director to absolutely rip a film and then have the balls to release it and pretend that he didn't rip Hereditary off. The ending of The Empty Man is the ending of Hereditary. I couldn't believe what I was watching in the theater. Now, Thomas, welcome to the channel. I'm not attacking you. I'm just saying, The Empty Man is the biggest rip of Hereditary and an embarrassment as a director that you would even do that. I couldn't even believe it. We're almost done here. Honest to God, you got a 2-minute warning. There's a 2005 Boogeyman. There's many Boogeymen. This is very tight tonight. Yes, live from Los Angeles, like always. Like always, Max. The channel is not moved. Maybe one day, but for now, we are still in the city of LA. Hereditary is a ripoff of Ant-Man 3. That's it. The stream's over, Real Opinion. You've done it. Guys, that's going to do it for tonight. It was simple. It's short to the point. We've got more about Flash. We got Little Mermaid. All that's coming up on Thursday. I want to do a full hour. Tonight was just dedicated to getting this news out here that Boogeyman is a decent, safe, sanitized horror film that I think will find an audience as counter-programming for next weekend anti-Spider-Man 2, Spider-Verse 2. Listen, we all need to celebrate one thing for sure. Disney putting this in theaters. Whenever that happens, get out there and support the film because we need more of that. COVID's over, okay? It's over. And as such, we need films in theaters. We need to support those. We need 45-day windows. All of that needs to return next week. Boogeyman comes out. Check it out. Let me know what you think when you actually see it. Again, we're back here Thursday night for Little Mermaid. Live reaction. Will I like the film? It's been a good run for me. I feel like this is the more chill Erick. Right? You're like, where's the guy that loses his shit reviewing a film? We might have that on Thursday. I don't know. I'm hearing from multiple people who've already seen it that I might not enjoy it as much as many of the films that I've been sitting through lately. So Thursday night could be very entertaining here on Midnight Movie Talk. Until Thursday night, please like, subscribe. Thanks for being here as always. Live from Los Angeles, Erick Weber saying good night. See you Thursday back here on